People.
Florida is incredible. Penguins immer nice.
Florida
Charlie.
is an incomprehensible wasteland, almost like something out of a fantasy novel, like Narnia, if Narnia was infested with drugs and human trafficking. But for me, I call Florida home. I've lived in this utopia for
Home.
all 28 years of my life, and I've got to tell you, I swear with my hand on a stack of Bibles, there's nowhere else I'd rather live, being completely truthful. Born and raised from the womb to the tomb in Florida. Well, I guess not womb to tomb because I'm pretty sure Florida's going to be
Okay.
underwater within the next 20 years. But hey,
Yes.
we're on a tight schedule, I guess. We're on the clock now, and that only makes the time we have with Florida even more special. What's that expression? The star that burns brightest burns out fastest. That is very applicable to Florida. It is a shining star of a state. That little hemorrhoid on the USA. That's right. That's Florida, baby. So anyway, I was feeling awfully patriotic today, and I wanted to celebrate some Florida enthusiasm by talking about a few stories that I've just been thinking about a lot over the last couple days since I learned about them because they're so wacky. Florida has a reputation for producing the most outrageous headlines ever, which is why FloridaMan has been like a coined phrase for quite a few years now.
Ja, dein Geburtsdatum und FloridaMan. Wichtig. Wichtig und richtig.
FloridaMan is just always referring to the crazy stories that could only really happen in Florida. And there's just some that I've really been thinking about that have happened recently. The first story is almost wholesome in its stupidity. So a man stole an electric scooter from Target and then assembled it outside the Target he had stolen at. So he was out there assembling this electric scooter for quite a long time, which gave the police ample opportunity to show up and arrest him.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
Do me a favor, stand up.
Huh?
Stand up. I'm gonna detain you for a second. Come here. Put it down.
Ein richtiger FloridaMan, holy shit.
Sir?
Jimmy Neutron.
Sah das gerade so aus, als hätte er bloß einen Zahn? Einen großen Zahn?
Do me a favor, stand up.
Huh?
Stand up. I'm gonna detain you for a second. Come here. Put it down. Yes, sir.
Jimmy Neutron's already been hard at work assembling this device. You can see the electric scooter box right next to him. So he's taking it out, he's following the instructions and putting it together. And usually these aren't exactly quick projects. So the authorities would have had plenty of time to not only receive the call from Target, but to then go ahead and stop for lunch if they wanted to, and then still show up in time to arrest this guy. He was out there for quite a while building the scooter, so the police
The chaotic, neutral FloridaMan.
showed up and probably were beyond surprised to see that he was still there. This was probably like a jump scare for them as well, that this guy who had stolen a scooter like 30 minutes ago was just outside putting it together.
You know why I'm detaining you?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Once I get these on you, I'll explain it to you. We'll get it all figured out, alright?
Alright.
A confounding mystery, no doubt. Why would this good Samaritan just casually putting together the electric scooter he just stole possibly be getting arrested or detained here? Something that science
Come on.
can't quite explain, I suppose. I just really like this whole idea here. He steals the scooter and he's like, alright, great. Oh man, I can't ride this. It's in the box. Well, guess I'm gonna have to put this shit together like it's some fucking Legos. And he just does it outside the Target he stole it at. He could have taken that anywhere else. Literally anywhere else. He could have taken it to like a nearby park or even just on a sidewalk somewhere and started putting it together. But instead, he puts it together at the danger zone, the hot spot where he had just committed a crime.
Did you buy this scooter?
Aber er hat das einfach genommen und ist rausgegangen?
You don't want to answer that question?
Caught him with his hand in the cookie jar with that question. He asks if he bought the scooter, to which he receives no reply. So then the reality starts to sink in for this guy. I'll go ahead and break down the story here, though it's not super interesting, very generic. Target employees saw him grab the Razor electric scooter, so then they just called the police on him, who then showed up and arrested him because he was outside fucking building the thing. What I really love so much about this one is the fact that this is actual, like, Skyrim NPC behavior. So this guy committed a crime. He takes the scooter, he steals it. And then the second he leaves the store, he must have forgot how he acquired that scooter and thought it was totally okay to just go ahead and start putting it together there. that item he just stole.
Aber er ist so nett und so entspannt. Ich hoffe nicht, dass das noch eskaliert. Wahrscheinlich ist es einfach jemand, der Hilfe braucht.
The next story I want to share with you all is actually a really interesting crime plot. This one's got a lot of layers to it. This one's like almost a huge scheme. It's a $1 million plus milk theft.
Klaut er jetzt den ganzen Truck? $1 Million an
This is actually
Milchprodukten?
like a whole crime group, like the fucking milk mafia. They got together and hatched the perfect crime, like Ocean's 11. They decided they were going to steal a fucking ton of milk, a lot of dairy products. It actually goes pretty deep. So the 6 suspects were employees of Island Dairy, a milk distributor that worked with MacArthur Dairy, a milk and dairy products company, and they were arrested as a result of an investigation dubbed Operation Got Milk. This is already a lot to take in. So you've got a lot of players at play on the chessboard here, a lot of pieces in position. When I first saw the headline, I expected it to be like 1 or 2 Florida men that thought they could steal a lot of milk and sell it. So they stole $1 million worth of milk, and I was like, holy shit, they just made $1 million. It took me a minute to register in my fucking smooth little brain here that who in the world, who on God's green earth is going to be buying $1 million worth of milk? That's not exactly a product that you could turn around and immediately get your money out of.
Naja, da Milch ja nicht schlecht wird, benutzt du es einfach und sparst im Long Run $1 Million an Milchprodukten.
You'd be squatting on a massive, massive fucking inventory of dairy for years before you even remotely started to be able to sell some of it. I don't think there's like a booming black market for milk, so it's not like you're just going to immediately be able to turn it around and sell it on the fucking Grand Exchange like it's RuneScape or something. And I've got to be honest, I'll admit my ignorance here. I don't know if Big Dairy buys from random people, right? So if you have $1 million worth of milk that you have stolen from these trucks, how are you going to try and sell it to a different distributor or a different company? I just don't think they'd be buying your, trunk of milk, right? You pull up behind an alley and you're like, all right, I've got the fucking product here. And they give you money for the milk. I don't think a huge market to be able to immediately turn these products into money in their hands. News stations reported that suspects were delivery drivers and dispatchers for Island Dairy. Since 2021, the suspects systematically pilfered more than $925,000 worth of milk from MacArthur Dairy, along with around $350,000 worth of crates. So obviously we're dealing with a lot of milk here. This is more than a Morton Joe was able to harvest in Mad Max Fury Road. The men would allegedly manipulate the ordering system, causing extra dairy products to be loaded onto the distribution delivery trucks. Police said that the delivery drivers would deviate from their pre-assigned routes, meet with another individual, and transfer the extra dairy products to their delivery truck. So they even reveal the method here. They're just giving away the formula that they used. One suspect allegedly sold each stolen milk carton for $10. Let's pump the brakes for a moment. Who the fuck is buying that? Not only is the price not great, but it's also extremely sketchy just to be buying a carton of milk from a stranger. Who would do that? That shit could be poison. It could be just fucking liquid cyanide in there. Like, what? Why would you do that instead of just going to Walmart and getting a carton of milk for like much less than that usually? It just doesn't compute. Who would treat this guy
$10 für wie viel?
each stolen milk carton for $10? Compute. Who would treat this guy like he's their drug dealer, like their plug? Like, passing out free milk cartons like, hey, come here. I've got some milk cartons in the trunk of my car. First one's free. But if you ever need your fix, you can meet me by the CVS dumpster. I got plenty more milk cartons where that came from. Like, I just can't even imagine that world. That's so wild. This was an organized crime, basically, where they are working in unison to steal products from a company, and obviously the person receiving those products was selling stolen goods. Officials told WTVJ that Island Dairy conducted an internal investigation that uncovered the irregularities and identified the potential suspects. Police were then contacted.
So haben sie einfach bloß das ausgenutzt. Hätte es keiner gefilmt, wäre es wahrscheinlich nicht aufgefallen. Nice.
and began surveillance on the suspects. Hours later,
Stil
investigators said
von
they
Bick.
captured the transfer of stolen dairy products on video. So they got him. They got him. This is actually a pretty sizable theft here. $1 million plus worth of milk is fucking crazy. So yeah, I definitely wanted to share that one because wow, what a plan to steal and sell milk, of all things. Anyway, these were just two stories I had read recently and watched, I suppose, since there's videos of both, that have really just stuck with me. I keep thinking about them because they're so goofy. So I just wanted to share that. That's really bad.
Richtig sweetes Verbrechen, wo keinem was